2 people got their joke. Awesome. It's a poem. You should look it up. It's a really good one. Thank you for spending your Sunday night with us here at Outlet Huntsville. I am your host, Kimberly. I'm very excited to be here with you this evening. First and foremost, I want to say a big thank you to Straight to Ale for allowing us this space. Please give it up for Straight to Ale. If you can, tip your bartender, please. Tip your bartender. Yeah. So we have an open mic for you. We actually have a few spots left still, so if you are interested in signing up, come see me over there. We can get your name on the list. We do ask that readers take no more than 3 minutes time up here so everyone gets equal opportunity on the mic. So if you hit that 3-minute mark, you're going to hear a sound from Borka over there. Borka, be louder than that, Borka. That's what it's going to sound. It's true class, okay? And if he does it bad, you can stop your poem and heckle him. And then you have a 15-second grace period, after which Borka will then play some horrible genre of music that he thinks is good, but we all know is not because Borka, questionable taste.
No.
Decent sweaters, questionable taste. Okay? So please, be conscious of your time. No more than 3 minutes while you're up here. Also, please just make sure only the person or people performing the piece are up on the stage. No one else. No extras. No homies. No, people behind you. We want to make sure that we're just getting people who are performing up here on the stage. Okay. Does that make sense? Does everyone understand the concept? We're going to share some poems. Okay, well, I guess the audience might not understand the concept because you are here to be supportive, okay? So there you go. We're going to be involved in the process too. And because we've got some spots on our open mic, I'm actually going to kick things off with a poem if that's cool with you. It's very short. It is new. It's very, very short. The dog speaks. Other times I am left with a taste of hallelujah on my tongue. Nails trimmed to the quick, I am digging for the bone of joy. Bury deep in the red clay, fervently working the earth. Forgive me all this mud. Forgive the way I swallow each breath like a last meal. I am working to avoid the relentless shatter of myself again, to become light as a feather and soft as a feather and never ever bored or stiff or slant. Pavlov's bell tricks me into hunger, but also tricks me into hope. Mind all this drool. I am praying again. Everything smells like heaven. Can't you taste it? Okay, that's the energy. That's the vibe you're bringing, okay? Audience, you've got this. Please welcome up your first reader, Josh.
I've got old shit, so...
Old shit?
Oh, shit!
What?
Deep... Wow. Deep in the shambles where light cannot penetrate, the collective of magic lines the alleyway to sway the stray passers-by. In the darkest corner, dressed by the brittle and painted with brandy, is a man we call the Wizard. Surrounded by these deadbeats with elder signs, as you squabble on the streets looking for real magic to find baubles and droves. You ask for gold and potions like we are alchemical gods, but love finds water weak, and scorching bones know well the lust for guilt luxury. You thirst for the arcane, but the arcana wants nothing of you. Power comes at cost, making business troublesome. So I'll tell you a secret. Real magic is a fantasy. Hard work and careful thought breed better than 2-bit string binding locust wings, adorned with a bit of glitter because glitter makes everything better. So hang your dampness on pillars, not seeking for answers for issues you've gathered and let fall to indignation. Stay lost to the waking, but remember that you may defy the moon.
Yeah.
Can confirm you also have awesome taste in sweaters, and the fact that you made your sweater yourself. Very cool, very cool. If you haven't heard, then you haven't been paying attention, but we do this cool thing called the Outlet Huntsville Anthology every single year. It is in its 9th iteration this year. We're very, very excited about it. Submissions are currently open, so anything that you have read at any of our events in the last year is eligible to be sent in, and at least one piece will get published, so you get to be a published author, and that is a really cool thing you can put on your resume. It's a book with an actual spine that has a barcode that you can order off Amazon and show all your friends that you are a published poet. And you can buy back issues here tonight in our little merch cart over here. I am going to not stop talking about it because I've only had like 8 people sending their work so far. That's not enough people. Jason, particularly, I've not done it. He thinks it's funny to wait till the day before the session goes. It's this ongoing prank where he thinks it's funny and I don't, and we just disagree, okay? But you can send in your work, and it's really fantastic. And submissions are open until the 20th, so that's not very many days from now, so please send in your work if you can.
Is
Okay.
that the end of the 20th?
Yes, midnight, 11:59. It depends, and I will be in Eastern time zone, but you can send it in 11:59 Central Standard Time, and I will be forgiving of that. But we want to see all of your people, all of our wonderful people in that book, so please send in your work if you can. And welcome up your next reader for his annual one poem a year, Porca.
At 6, the day is incomplete without a hug and kiss goodnight. Crawling into your recliner, I cut my face on 5 o'clock shadow. Ask to see the scar where they zipped you back up. Call you fat until you say, yeah, well, you're ugly and I can lose weight. The cadence makes me laugh every time. Buttered popcorn and Miller Lite are my comfort smells. At 9, auditorium seats become my pews. Sunday mornings are spent at the theater, watching everything we want to see, everything we might like to see, everything left to see. A love of cinema is born from terrible 2000s Adam Sandler comedies. At 13, I see you cry for the first time. Your youngest is beginning to grow into his own, and I'll continue to, out of sight, 800 miles away. We hug for what feels like an eternity. At 17, I see you cry for the second time, the pressure in your throat that you tried to ignore, fearing it was cancer of voice. That night you hole away, drinking the most you have in years. Hair and muscle tone are replaced with optimism, and when you recover, we joke that you're a cockroach. Even after everything else is gone, you'll still be kicking. At 23, we're drunk in Patrick's garage on Christmas Eve, arguing about a law in a state none of us live in anymore. We find a website explaining it in layman's terms. It says you're wrong. Anyone can put anything on the internet. I know that I'm right. We find a copy of the law itself. It says you're wrong. You're interpreting it wrong. I know that I'm right. We call the Philadelphia Police Department 10 minutes before Christmas. They say you're wrong. They don't know anything. They're just a desk jockey. I know that I'm right. We're an infallible bunch. At 26, another Christmas, another argument. This time about ulcers, jelly knives, the shape of the planet. I learned to endure biting my tongue, find a balance of safe topics. Cars, drywall, fixing your gadgets. I don't want our moments together to just be fights over things that don't matter. At 30, I see you cry for the third time, standing over Patrick's casket, saying goodbye to your son. The rest of us stepped out or never entered, unable to see our brother in that state. You never left his side. At 32, November, your mortality becomes inescapable. I can't stop my face from falling when you say hello. Your voice unrecognizable, high-pitched and raspy from a tracheotomy that refused to heal. I tell you that you'll get through this. You've survived before. I see you cry for the 4th time. At 32, March, last second plane tickets, another hospice family gathering. You say you're uncomfortable, ask for pain medicine. The doctor asks if everybody is here, ready to say goodbye. There's a primal fear in your eyes. No, you say, you'll do whatever it takes to go back home. At home, you'll say you'll do whatever it takes to meet your new grandson. At 32, Easter morning, there is no celebration of resurrection. 2 days before 34, section 55, grade 6165. Gunfire cuts through tears, 3 low rumbles, another funeral in the distance. It's hard to accept that the 6 cubic inch box is your father, that a marble marker in a sea of identical marble markers would be all that remains. At lunch, we share stories, talk about which of our features make us see ghosts in the mirror. Tim lifts his glasses to read something, and for a moment, you're right there with us.
Oh.
Good taste in poetry, questionable taste in music. I take back everything bad I ever said about you. That was a really good poem. I was trying to figure out a way to introduce Porter earlier. We were chatting about this because he is, we are friends. We do hang out outside of this. We put on a great show, but we were actually friends in real life. But I was going to say that please welcome up my best friend, who I'm not his best friend, which I think is the funniest introduction ever. And he was like, ha ha! Yeah. It is what it is. I'll get through it, okay? It's fine. Okay, please welcome up your next reader, Anna. Woo! having a bit of an identity crisis this year, and I'm coping with it by self-sabotaging.
Hell yeah.
So this piece
Relatable.
is about that, and I'll go ahead and say trigger warning for self-harm, suicide, whatever. What I have become is completely unknown to me. I float outside myself and watch an utter stranger spiraling downwards, throwing away everything good she's ever had. I destroy it all before it can destroy me. I cut my wrist and you out. I want to break you like a glass into so many fragile little pieces and open myself up with those shards. Blood on my hands, yours and mine. You don't understand. I have to hurt you first. A passion stoked for 10 years, utterly burned out, and I have grown to hate it. Poet that I hoped to be, I maintain the metaphor. I have killed my darlings. An appropriately Orphean fate, I am ripping my muse limb from limb. I tried so hard for so long to endure and ignore and be okay, but I want it to stop, this heart and soul, the heart and soul of a poet and scholar trapped in the body of someone who will never be good enough. Same warnings apply. I think I've read it here before. I don't fucking remember. May 21st is my best day to die. Maple Hill with a bottle of wine and all the pills I can find. I have told myself for almost a year now. May 21st. It's been 10 years, but those same spirits are still with me. Still with me. I loved them once. I wanted to die just to see them. I want to die to not think of them. I want to place my head upon the stones of my favorite grave and never get up again. So Elizabeth claims another victim. My darkest diabolical love, he came to me at night in the shelter of the dark. I had dreams about him. I prayed and cried for him. What a sinister thing to be loved and adored by me. I can never, ever forget. How could I? He, who I wanted more than anything, to just come home again. Sickening psychosis, paralyzing paracosms, and twisted tulpas. My senses are not sensible. No, I have never been here. Not truly. I have flown far up into the clouds. I'd sooner perish than touch the ground ever again. The Lady of Heaven, I see her now. She is me. She's all I ever wanted to be. Red wine, red blood, red ink stains my hands. Dirt and vomit and tears in my hair on my clothes as I stumble through the cemetery. My stomach cramping, my vision blurring, thoughts slurring. No one said this would be beautiful. I never thought it would be. I tried to create something beautiful once.
Yeah.
You're back just in time to submit work to the anthology by December 20th, because everyone should do that. I'm going to say that about 50 more times tonight. Anna brings up a good point that I forgot to mention. If you are going to come up here, we are an all-ages venue, obviously, but we know that sometimes people want to discuss difficult things on the mic, or sometimes even some sexy things on the mic, and that is totally cool, and we love that. But please just give a content warning beforehand so people can, make the decision to step out if they need to, or cover little ones' ears or whatever. We curse and stuff on this mic, but we just try and be a little conscientious as well. But yeah, please welcome up your next reader, Sam.
Hey, this is the first two poems I read it out loud like 9 years ago. I gotta go fast on them, but the first one's called Mechanism. I watched them all, those lofty women in their heels, making rich marble of every surface that would sound for them. Which is to say, I sat silently by, reading askance. Which is to say, I thought very highly of myself. Which is to say, I was and am ashamed. Which is to say, I stared narrowly through the film on my eyes and wondered what I might do with the rest of the day. Which is to say, I left my skin on the floor. I went home. I drifted ghostly trenches entombed in artifice. Which is to say, I tried to distract myself. Which is to say, I dig deep into meaningless, tangential thoughts. I say things that don't make sense, which is a tactic that may ring familiar to you. Which is to say, the pilgrim glutton was Ephesus. Which is to remind you that when measuring the miles in this search for holy shores, you should as well consider the fathoms, which is a warning of the ends that lie between your beginning and your end, which is to say, have mercy on our kind, hungry, hellish sheep. which is not a confession, though I suspect you will take it as one, which is perhaps a little evasive. Which is to say, the object of any game is to be the person who ends the fun, which is, once again, not at all what I mean. Which is to say, I saw you there, under the flickering, buzzing fluorescent light, wringing sponges full of grief into your mouth. Which is to say, I have been always the stranger, floating into and out of different throats. Which is to say, I am sorry often. Which is to say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't laugh. I don't have time. I gotta get something real fast. The second one is called, I've read enough books of poetry to know that you always, always, always write a sappy one to the reader, or, dear reader, I love you, love Sam. Meet me at the crest of a breath. Let's find ourselves in that moment when our lungs would reveal their complete surfaces to our skin if we could only quiet it just so. When the dashing and swirling particles in that great volume of air would be almost still. Meet me bright and candid and in love with everyone you've ever met. In that moment, we can live entire lives underwater, shifting and fragmenting sheets of light, pouring down through our swimming hair, ready to be swallowed whole, swallowed together by some magnificent heavenly fish. And don't worry if you miss me. Don't wait for me. Don't hold on. Let go and taste the warm current as it drifts off your tongue. Don't worry if you miss me. We have thousands of lives, thousands of bodies, trillions of breaths for practice. Don't worry. I promise I will return to that place. When we finally meet, maybe I'm a little girl from Taiwan visiting an uncle I've never met, and you're a confused Michigan teenager, your mother scared for your grades and for your father in the snow, and you see me, stacked low in my strange coat, watching you. So you give me the airplane you were folding. Or maybe we're fishers in neighboring vessels, finding ourselves at last in the breast of the sea after landlocked years caring for children sick with different diseases, mine a pitcher, yours a dancer, and you holler from over the wall of your gently rocking boat, "Beautiful day, isn't it, stranger?" And I call back, something that makes us smile. Something to make us sigh sweetly into the loving pull of our quivering rods.
Yeah.
Is there reader I love you, love Sam in the first anthology?
No, I didn't put them in any of the anthologies, so I was like, I'm going to submit them for
Do you know
publication
what you
somewhere else.
can do? You can send them this year.
I'm gonna.
You read that. That's amazing. If you do it by December 20th. Okay, we're going to get it by the end of this night. One of these days, people. Our next reader is actually, we've got some exciting stuff happening, has a new book available, and to celebrate that new book is going to be featuring at our next open mic on January 19th, 2025, because this year is over. That's fucking nuts. Please welcome up Susan.
We are practicing.
So good.
That's amazing. Thank you, and I'm very happy to be here. I've been out of the country because my husband, who is not just an assist, is a classical pianist, and he was touring in South America, and I got to go with him, and this is some new stuff from that trip. This is called Unexpected. They are playing Brahms and Liszt, Beethoven and Chopin, and it thrills. And they come back with more music of composers of their own country and thrilled to share. The pride catches us up. I believe in signs and the universe taking care of us. This is called With Love. There is a mourning dove that greets me every morning. Her mate accompanies as they sit with me on the balcony. In toby non-noticement, they almost always sit or hop or settle in profile, never the demand of the straight-on look saying busy or go or right. No, they nestle and hauntingly, lowingly coo peace, and I write it. So we were in Colombia and Mexico, and Ron performs and I wrote, and I was the epitome of the ugly American because Ron speaks Spanish and I do not. This is called Susan. Not acquainted with the money, language garbler of the non-Spanish speaker, the smiling American let loose on the people, perpetuating stereo ugly. She was instantly forgiven every time and time and time again, because the living is easy and the blood is kindness and the tipping is stupendous. This is called Worn Sandals. To follow the light, I must look at what is shown and follow that path. So we were out of the country for the election. And a lot of my friends said that I didn't want to come back. But I got to hear a baritone sing the 4 series songs by Brahms, and it's German, and it's We're Gonna Die, and I was just moved to write this. This is one of them. This is For It Befalleth Man, Death, Death, Death. And we're higher than the beasts. This is the breathing animal, all the days. And I stand, breathing as same. The surety of our deaths is identical, the only known one of 2 truths ever proven. Yet thinking men postulate, my spirit will rise while other breaths lower. But surely our dust weights are identical. With nothing real to stand on beyond ciphers, let us rejoice in all others and our work's frame. A gallery left behind when our chance here is gone.
Thank you, Susan. Please come back next month and get to hear more amazing work from her. There will also be an open mic. It'll be a shorter open mic, so just, again, get here early so that you can sign up to make sure that you get a spot on our open mic. But that'll be on January 19th. Susan is also in past issues of our anthology as well, which are available here for purchase for only $12 simple dollars. If you want to come see Borka at the end of the night and tell him that his poem was good, and then, you know, he could also be submitting to the anthology by the 20th, that would be great. You can all do that for us. It would be very helpful. Okay, please open up your next reader, Elle.
You're doing great.
This one's a little newer, called Stone Dog Star. A star scratched out on a rock is gingerly placed in the cradle of a gnarled tree's roots. Could someone not find one in the sky so they forge their own guide before setting upon the trail again? Did they leave it behind, wondering if they'd see it again? Or was the knowledge enough to enlighten their steps forward? Every step of mine seems colored, following a well-trod trail splayed before me. But that stone star, it does not shine and it does not sparkle. It sits just beyond. I want to pursue that call into the woods, for once, to be lost on my own terms, to get myself somewhere no one else knows, to find out that answer alone. I scoop up that stone, put it in my pocket, and haul it with me. I'll carry this rocky reminder to not fully deny that wild call. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've also experimented slightly with nonfiction. We'll see how it goes.
Nice.
And it's kind of close right now. shivering in the dark, fruitlessly searching the horizon for the comet. After giving up, and we could barely see each other's faces, you squeezed me and said, all the more reason for us to be around at 60 years old. At 16, I couldn't come up with any reasons, let alone 60 years worth. Back then, I didn't want to imagine 10 years ahead. But now, I'm there. I can't imagine what 6 times all that life could hold. It's not till later, when I'm attempting that impossible task, that I realize what you really said. At 60, you want to be back, sitting on a blanket somewhere, damned if your bad head is bothering you and my arthritic hands ache in the cold, squinting just above that cityscape horizon once again. What will you find together so many years later? Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, did you know that you can submit nonfiction pieces to the anthology by December 20th? Amazing. You guys are so energized. You're doing my best bits, okay? I don't have very many good ones. Hey, this is a great time for me to tell you that we're a nonprofit, which means that we don't profit and we have no money. So if you want to donate money to us, you can. There's a bucket. It's there. It's got maybe geese on it, perhaps some other sort of water fowl. You can put money in there, and that goes directly back into our community and helping us make these events happen and give, creating these safe spaces throughout our community. So if you can donate, please do. There's also a donation at our website if you need to do so digitally because you're a contemporary person who doesn't carry cash. We understand that, and we have means for you to donate to us. We greatly appreciate it. Okay, please welcome up our next reader, Hannah.
So this piece I'm reading is about a lovely time called March 2020.
Hey.
And I took a book of Frank O'Hara poems out of the library for spring break, and then my library closed down for 8 months.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I just was stuck with this Frank O'Hara book. So me and Frank O'Hara know a lot about each other, and this poem is entitled Returning Frank O'Hara to His Grave.
Oh.
Returning a book of Frank O'Hara poems I've had since March, the last tangible memory of life before all of this. Frank O'Hara has been a good dinner companion. The man loves his food and interesting syntax. But as I finish my pad thai and throw the book into my bike's basket, it's time for me to return Frank O'Hara to his grave, next to whatever I thought of as normal, and ride into the new beginning of what this world has become. And this piece, also about COVID, is entitled Borrowed Time. Your car pulls out of the driveway and it's a different type of grief that overcomes me, the familiar knots in my stomach, the disillusionment that comes from loving on borrowed time. I do not want to be lovers across Berlin walls, the palm of my hands bloodied, reaching out for you across barbed wire. I do not want our love to be suppressed to telephone wires and LCD pixels. Every time I cross the state line, I'm scared this is where I will die, in some unmarked grave between two homes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Those are some good poems. Frank O'Hara, published poet. You too can be a published poet if you send in your work by
December 20th.
Thank you so much, Charlie. I'm going to call you up by name if you participate, because I know most of your names. Okay, please welcome up our next reader, Regina.
Here you go, Paul. I'll send you.
This is my first time here. I will be reading maybe 2 or 3 from my book that I just published, and
been writing poetry since 1996, and I just had a collection of poems just in a notebook. And last year, one of my Facebook friends made a post, and she said, "Everybody has a story. Share yours because you never know who may need to hear it." So I got busy. Just I wrote a few more things, but everything in the book is based on something I've experienced. So here we go. So the first one is it's called Empty Pleasure. Once it's gone, it's gone. It comes with no feature. It comes with no plan. It has no purpose. But it acts on demand. It brings plenty of selfishness, a mass of instant bliss. Inevitably leaves you alone. No chance to reminisce. And all that's left is a faded dream. So I have another, I may need to read another, but I really this is my daughter who's videoing. And many years ago, when she was a young tween, and my best friend's daughter, they are still friends. Sometimes when young teens and tweens are growing up, they are trying to find themselves. They feel like they don't fit in, or they're insecure about this or that or whatever. So I just kind of wrote some encouragement for them way back when. She's very grown right now, as you can see. So it's called Affirmation for Jessica and Malia. This is Jessica, this is my daughter. My precious young flower, your petals are so delicate, so fresh, and oh, so tender. Your youth is radiant. Your fruit is pure, like drops of morning dew. Please know that you are beautiful. Be proud and in love with yourself. Value your virtues. So many want to be like you. I'm going to try to squeeze in one more. So it's called It's My Choice. I have come to realize that the one thing in life I have control of is my choice, or my choices. You, meaning God, have given us free will. I can choose negativism and pessimism, or to be positive and optimistic. I can choose to love rather than hate, to have peace and joy rather than pain and sorrow, to smile than to frown, to forgive than to hold bitterness in my heart, to have faith than to doubt, to move forward and grow, or continue to keep my past alive and allow it to cause my death. Father, right now I choose to give you control of all things in my life. Help me to leave my struggles at the cross and trust you.
One more time for a first time reader without my And I know you're wondering, I know you're thinking, can I submit previously published work to the anthology because, it's already published in the book? Yes, you can, and you can give it a little accreditation for where it was previously published, so it's another way to plug your book, and also to have more work in the anthology, which you can do if you send it in by... I love you guys so much. Best Christmas ever. What a good present. Okay, please welcome our next reader, Paul.
Hello. I've been writing a lot more since I've been coming out to these events over the past year. So thank you for that. Thank you for the community. I've met several good friends through this, and glad for all that, and glad to be bringing this year to a close and all that.
Yeah.
All that being said, I'm going to read some poems about roadkill. The last woman I fell in love with wore a long black feather shawl, a blood-red ruff, and she was barefoot. I had seen her on both street corners and rooftops, flighting and flying from cars and carrion. A turkey vulture, like the virgin goddess, though Artemis kills, skins, and guts her prey. This young lady feasts on flat squirrels, skins and all, shucked by trucks, fresh and raw, No dressing needed. How could you not love that?
Oh, yeah.
I tried to put this one back together after I lost the last index card of the last stanza, mainly so I could have it prepared for the anthology, accepting submissions on the 20th.
Yeah!
Until the 20th. A squirrel is not a frivolous creature, despite their great fleet of numbers and diminutive stature. They feed the forests not just as prey animals, but as architect farmers. They bury too much for themselves to eat before winter, so much to not to even forget their stores. But each mound left buried produces trees, an investment in forage that their grandchildren might eat. Their conflict comes when these forest architects meet human designs. Gray squirrels camouflage against branches and subfloors, but also gray-black asphalt. And reflexively, when startled, they about face and double back to thwart a predator's strike. Such things do not work against ambivalent automobiles. The gray squirrel meets a tire, pinches and crushes against 1 1/8 tons of rubber and steel. Soft and hard tissues bruise and hemorrhage, and immediately go into repair triage. The call from the central governor, all hands on deck, missives in my cells to heart, lungs, nerves, and liver, but all in vain. No further response returns except a twitching tail. A vulture will be picking apart this corpse in an hour. The rural street cleaner, about a week. These long-chain hydrocarbons will recompose as soon as someone cleans up that long stain of grease.
No more time.
No more time?
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Shocked by a truck. That's a great line. Banger of a line. Thank you, Paul, for also plugging the anthology while you were up here. And highlighting when you were here. You may have also noticed these massive flyers on your table. Orca, great at poems, bad at designing flyers.
Can't measure.
These are so big and so boring. But if you have retained no information from me this evening, because I get it, I zone me out too. I have to listen to me all the time. There's this with a QR code on it that you can scan that'll take you to our website that has all the submission details for our anthology. It tells you, like how to get it to me and how many you can send and that we need a bio and all those wonderful things. So feel free to take these home. There's more of them up here if you want to have like a little reminder to do that this week by the 20th. Thank you. Please welcome up your next reader, Jason. Woo!
I'm only here because there's at least one other spot left of the sign-up. So, you're so hot! Seize the dead. I'm going to read a poem that's already in a previous anthology. Because the first time he dies when they lay in the ground, the second time is when they stop saying your name, and his was Tony. Everything my grandfather built is still standing. Every brick wall and rafter, every backyard fence in homes scattered across Long Island like salt on a winter sidewalk. My grandfather's legacy is settling with the floorboards and lining the shadows of every doorway. Tough men never die easy. My grandfather dug into this world like a screw into hardwood, fought death every inch of the way out of his home, into the home, out of bed every morning until he couldn't. Nobody cried at the wake. Not until they closed the casket. Not until they loaded him into the hearse. Not until we rolled him up to the altar for the service. Not until we did the readings. My grandfather was a tough man. Nobody wanted to be the first to cry in front of him. I like to think that when death crept out from the shadows of his doorway, when at 3 a.m. like an old pair of boots, it knew better than to come while he was awake. That death still feared my grandfather's right hook. The last time I slept in his house, I lay awake and listened to nothing. I wondered if the walls missed his voice as much as I did. But now my grandfather's legacy is settling with the floorboards in homes scattered across Long Island like his ashes, because everything my grandfather built is still standing.
Let's go.
Every rib cage and upper lip, every flagpole spine, I will fly his colors for as long as I have strength to. Tough men never die easy.
Yeah!
If you like that whole music behind anthology and also word out loud at the same time. Thank you, Jason. You're amazing. I'm glad you signed up last minute. That was very impactful. If anyone else wants to sign up, we have 2 empty spots. Just come see me over here if you wanna. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. Okay, please welcome up your next reader, Lona.
It's good to be back.
Yeah.
So, I get to defile the moon. And this gallery that is left when our cats is gone, that's where we are. All right, so I just have this feeling I need to change the name of my poem to You Can Submit Your Poem to the Anthology December 20th.
Yeah!
So now that didn't count as my time. 2 poems. First one written when I was a devout believer in the iteration of God that I was taught as a child. And the next one written about 3 years later, where I'm pretty much an atheist, but the theology is the same, I've decided. So this first one's called, and I've read all of these here before. In fact, the second one, this third time I've read it, I just didn't get it in on time last year. So, all right, the first one's called How to Unwrap God's Gifts on Christmas Morning. Heal wounds, soak earth with sunshine, breathe hope into sorrows, and taste the long and gentle unwinding of the clocks. Don't point and counter, or fence the tides of wild creation into doctrine. Care for each other, instead of endlessly playing with the box. Third time. Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, in remembrance. Starts with a quote from Laura Jane Grace of Against Me. Well, you only ever really know that you're living when you're totally sure that you're dying. Maybe we get where we want to go. I don't know. Fuck it. Maybe the earth opens up and swallows us whole. Unquote. I have lost both old and young loved ones, and also twos. Our infant child who just squeezed my hand and breathed only right up until she was given leave to leave. And then I also thought I heard my granddad's voice in my head several days after I had heard that he was dead. I could not make the funeral trip and cried out quiet in the night that I loved him. He never was much for words. I love you too, was all he said. Like everyone and every two, I have lost out to death. But was I really able to be sad about it the way I was supposed to? Each grief back then was wrapped softly in a velvet cushion of expectation for sweet reunion. The words I heard and truly held were that death was not a loss, but just a bit of a weight. and embrace and smile would greet us, and perhaps we would give and get a grace or two as an old harsh word or silence or grudge was left outside the gate. But now, when doubt has found me, I grieve you, Father and Mother God, most deeply. You were, after all, always with me. From first remembered steps, my hands were folded. I was lucky to be sure that I was told that you preferred that I be loved instead of scolded. When my daughter died, I thought I felt you lift her in your arms towards the shore. And when the darkness almost took me and I wanted to end because I was simply desperate to really be alive rather than just pretend, I felt a warm and simple peace that I could live and be myself, even if that made it seem I was taking more than I could give. I dreamed my tears were caught in loving hands, kind eyes gazing, smiling in that place where pain just fell out through a bloody, scratched out door. All these things are with me, but are you really, really there? Or just ideas of love gathering in our hearts and in the air? I cannot simply scrawl an epitaph, God is dead, for something wants to whisper, even still pressing, calling from down the hallway, for me to answer. Is it sunspots or tiny cedars? I am certain only that I can never again be certain whether there is something other than ourselves out there whirling in all the space and dust and time behind the curtain. I can't delay a single breath in waiting for that better world or new frontier. If that is where we will arrive one day, blinking and maybe not surprised, it can only be by way of living now and living here. I still want you, I miss you, I grieve you. And each of your children I have lost, I grieve again now in a new way, as if they're really gone, because they are. And my faith is like Peter Pan's shadow that has flown and can't be reconnected by either needle, thread, or soap. It makes no sense to be hiding anywhere except where I'm standing, backlit somehow by something circling in my mind. Is it you, or just a remnant lingering? As something either fades or brightens, you tell me which, into slippery hope.
I cannot wait to publish those poems. You're going to get them in this year, right? It's going to happen. Because you're going to send it in by... Thank you so much, guys. It's going to be fantastic. Lona has been in previous anthologies as well. Again, there's back issues here if you want to check any of those out at the end of the event. Also, if you like Out Loud and you're having a good time and you want to get more involved, you can become a member of our community. Again, we're a nonprofit, so we have membership. It's $25 simple for 1 year of membership. You get access to our really cool Discord where if you're struggling with your anthology submission bio, Jason might surprise you, help you write a bio. He's been very active in the Discord lately, which is very helpful. You also get some cool swag. You get access to some members-only meetups. It's a really good time. So if you are interested in membership, you can come talk to us over here as well, or you can visit our website. Okay, welcome up your next reader, Tamara. Tamara. So sorry. Tamara. I couldn't decide where to put the emphasis. Everyone, welcome to the next reader, Tamara.
I'm a little short, everybody. Thank you. Hey, everybody. How are y'all doing tonight? This isn't my first time, actually. I did some spoken word here before, but it's been about 8 or 9 years.
Wow.
I'm back again. I've been writing poetry since I was around, 23. And I had my first poem published in allpoetry.com. So I'm in a book. And the book is actually worth about $30 or $40 now.
Nice.
So I still have a copy of that book, and it was called Moon. I should have thought about it. I should have brought it because it was the actual first poem I got published.
Aww.
But right now, I'm writing children's books.
Nice.
This is not children's books. I got some children's books to tell you now. I've written 5 books in 3 years.
Awesome.
So, and they're sold on Amazon, and my name is Tamara Moody if you're interested. But I do poetry for little kids because they need it. They need inspiration and hope. That's kind of what my poems are titled on.
Yeah.
Inspiration and hope, because I think every child needs something to believe in, especially a superhero. Because if you have a superhero, whoever it may be, it can totally give you inspiration. So, in my first poem I'm going to read is called Roses. You know, roses are beautiful, right? But they die. So this is kind of a piece about that. So check this out. Roses. I want mine now. Not when I'm 6 feet deep and no one remembers me. Being given roses can change your life for sure. It represents love. God is love and commands us to love. He wants us to be devoted to his heavenly spirit. In his light, I can see through the shade. I know I won't fade if you give me my due, that is. Girl, life is too short. Do you hear me? It can be bittersweet or precious memories. For you see, it doesn't matter what earthly people say, because there's only one person in control. Remember to give roses to people while they're living. In life, we make mistakes, but we can forget forgiveness for them. Be awake, stay woke, and commence with people who are evenly yoked. In other words, surround yourself with positive people. Doing that will ensure you a seat at anyone's table who is meant to be around you. My roses are in full bloom, so pretty and red with just a hint of white. Soft and smooth, the petals brush ever so slightly against my face. I am in my place, reflecting on precious memories, having an evolution. I see the height of the mountain quite clear. I pinch myself to see if it's real. Be careful, the thorn may prick you. That's why it's so important to remember roses can sting you even with all its beauty. In this moment I realize God giveth and taketh away. A rose will soon die if pulled from its root. But always remember the beauty it provided. But a time will come when the beauty will cease as well. This next one is called Headache. And as you know how a headache can overcome you. It can just kind of throb your brain and make you feel kind of nauseous. At times you feel like you need to do something. Maybe you need to lay down, maybe you need to relax. But it's called a headache, and I'm going to let you decide for yourself what you think. My brain is nauseous and confused. My muse is displaced on a canvas. I spew maggots all over the page. I feel as if the power has left my body. My mind is consumed with tiredness and mountains of hillside valleys that have never seen the sight of rain. I'm a mess and very emotionally drained. What should I do with myself? The answer isn't up to me. God is in charge and speaks to my mind. He knows my every weakness. He sees the fight within me. He sees me for me. He hears me in the most awkward voice as I scream inside to myself, I am she, the woman who is to be. Spelling, G-O-D. He is mightier than a sword who sits high and looks low. I'm going to let him take the wheel. Life can be pleasant or it can be miserable. It's all up to you. What's your choice? That's it.
Coming back to us.
You're no problem. Wait a minute.
All right, here you go.
Good job.
For those wondering, we have inquired to the management SJJ about getting a little step built. You know, we're going to hold them to it. I used to work here and I can text them all of the time. Okay, you can submit those poems and then you can get published again. That's really exciting. You just have to send in your work by December 20th. Yes, welcome up your next reader, Max.
I haven't done this one in a while. Let's see if I can remember it. The higher I get, the landing hurts a little bit more. I've been here before, but when I hit the ground the first time, I was a different person. So all in all, have I ever really been here then? Mother Nature was hot on the trail of Father Time, but lost track of him down memory lane near his son's block, where the stop sign is just a prop, paling in comparison to the crosswalk, where people pace and winds blow to move everything forward. Flashing lights coupled with the sound of sirens, man down is what was heard by the herd of people quickly gathering around to observe, keeping a distance, not wanting to miss this, close enough to smell the fragrance, but far enough away to not see the lipstick smudge from death's kiss.
You can find them over here in this merch cart that was once a janitor cart, but is now our merch cart, because we are resourceful people. You can send in more work to the anthology.
By December 20th.
I'm gonna invite you up here. You have that voice, that sultry voice telling us this story. Okay. All right, let's welcome up here next year, Maya. Hi. This one's, I haven't read this one here, so it's pretty new. Trigger warning for horniness. I'm sorry it's always like this.
That's okay.
I don't do this on purpose, I'm just like this.
Don't
okay?
apologize.
Shut up, Lucas.
Love you.
What grows in damp places but hunger? Creeping, seeking, low-lying hunger. Wet with living, it nestles itself in the valleys of my body, the ditches and the dips. I press my fists there between my legs, drench my palms and wrists in my own desperate flood. I'd like to fill a watering can with it. The wet, the sweat, the little drops of piss squeezed out in spasms of pleasure grown from the thought of you. Of planting into deep holes the hairs of yours I find when we are finished, of searching in my throat for the coarse curl of your crotch, pulling it from my mouth, of covering it with dirt after the last frost, and pouring over it my liquid harvest thick and warm in my little copper watering can. What shall come from pleasure, the fertile mud of the flood? In the morning, we look out onto the dirt in the garden, see soft bodies long and thin and beautiful, writhing, root-wrapped and wet in our image. Blessed are they do not have to cease to rise from filth, cut the roots and weeds away, go about the day half-hunched with hunger pains. Thank you. Maya, look at me. Stop apologizing for being horny. Stop. Don't apologize. I mean, give the warning, but don't apologize for it. Good. Okay, good. Hey, Maya's been in previous issues of the Allen Husband, which you can buy on their merch cart. That was once a janitor cart. It's only $12. Maya, you can submit that new horny poem to the next anthology. December 20th. All right, welcome to our next reader, Lucas Samuel.
Hi, I'm professionally known as Samuel. My friends call me Lucas, but if you're Jason, you can call me the hot guy that reads poems. If you didn't know, I was living in Asheville when Hurricane Helene hit, and then was on the first wave disaster response team with that. And this poem's about that. A month after the storm, I watched as a man who shares the sound of my last name collects the waterlogged memories of his wife and son that he lost too many tragedies ago, and he tells me through the sound of overhead Chinooks he's unsure if there's even a point in being around for the next one. A month after the storm, on a cloudy morning over a cold hotel breakfast, I hold the hand of a mother and listen to her. And she tells me how she explained to her daughter why Mr. and Mrs. Johnson from down the road were sleeping in her front yard for 5 days straight. A month after the storm, the muddy water line still stains the leaves and branches above our heads and closed eyelids in our rooms at night. I can no longer hear the birds, so I buy a guitar, but there is no one in the streets downtown who can teach me to sing. A month after the storm, I drive through clouds of toxic dust, past lots of empty hope and step over rubble of drainage. On my way to a donation center where a neighbor with tired eyes wears a neon vest and does not ask me who I'm voting for, they just ask for a helping hand. Thank you.
I am shipping Jason and Lucas so hard. It's a couple we didn't know we needed. You know what I mean? It's the romance we didn't know we needed, but we all deserve. All right, we've only got 3 more readers on our open mic, but again, we did have 2 empty spots, so if anyone came in late and wants to sign up, just come see me over here. If not, we're going to get through it, and we're going to have more time to hang out and order more drinks from Ollie and give Ollie really good tips.
Ew.
Lots of really good tips. Give it up for your bartender this evening, people. They don't make enough money. Give them your money. Please welcome up Charlie Hicks.
I'm super tall. So
I tried.
It's all good. What day do we have to get those submissions in the anthology?
December 20th.
Oh my gosh, December 20th. I've never heard that date before, just now.
Yeah, I'm informative.
All right, so my first poem here is called Whittling. This is something that me and my grandfather used to do together all the time when I was a kid. I have many scars on my fingers to prove that. When I was younger, I would watch as my grandfather spend his time whittling. He would sing tunes while committing to a task with no deep goal, making cedar shavings piece by piece, and at night's end, we would burn his day's work, bringing to life a bright fire, and he was at peace, spending his time whittling away. This next one is to my friends, several of whom are in this room, and one of whom is in this poem.
Wow.
Explicitly by name, so it's not going to be a mystery. Laughter rolls around us, fresh food and drinks fill the house. Everyone brought something. Some simply brought joy and company. Like the stones in an archway, the pressures of the world are pushing down on us, but we won't fall, supporting each other. My dear friends, each person adds another line to my story that we write together. Support, kindness, and love given freely between us. To my friends, I just wanted to say thanks. Thanks for listening to me, thanks for supporting me, and most importantly, thanks for the vegan tacos to Sam McCall.
Yeah!
They had cheese!
You can send the book home and call Sam out by name in print in perpetuity for his taco. That was so sweet. Thank you, Charlie. 2 more readers. Please welcome up Beth.
Thank you, honey. It's been lurking in my closet, waiting for a chance to erupt.
Love it.
I have tea. I need a number between 1 and 3. Speak now.
1.5.
There it is then. Silence. Molecules spin, dust motes hang between one soundless moment and the next. That welcome, unwelcome emptiness spinning out from the vast, empty dark. Tick, tick, tick to eternity. I agree, grin, empathy, simulated. Masked predator in a pool of recovery, wallowing in another stolen moment of non-consent. Savoring the validation from the gathered masses, emotional treachery. Half cut, half cooked, half baked, half a chicken wing, tragic starved soul, hiding beneath the music pop, live streaming vampiric sacrifice work, pornographing the innocent, manipulating the kind, fried a half-baked chicken wing by Cerebi. Drowsy March. Sleep like a doorway waits, a portal betwixt and between this world and the next, that world and the last. Dreamy realities, full portent, evaporate upon waking. Nightmare, cliche, horror incarnate, stalking, hunting holds no terror to what might have been, what should have been, what will never be. In a glimmer of sidelong winking, the next world waits screaming. Between this world and the next, awake like a doorway waits, a gateway between and betwixt the next and this, the last, and now. Conscious memory heaped with regret, disappear upon sleeping.
You only have to hear me say it like 1 or 2 more times, okay? And then we're going to be done, and you're going to talk about how annoying I am, and that's okay! That means I've done my job. Please welcome up your last reader of the night, Grace! I said it before, and I'll say it again, the best thing about Kimberly emceeing is that I don't have to adjust the mic.
Yeah!
This is called Death by 1,000 Cuts. Once when you called my name, it felt like home. When I left my wind chimes hanging. I wake with a knife lodged in my back. My friends say, "What a small man." When I left my wind chimes hanging. Nothing much surprises me except for the grief. My friends say, "What a small man." They call me morning glory, gorgeous and invasive. Nothing much surprises me except for the way grief rises like waves. I can tell you all the way my tides have turned. I am a morning glory, gorgeous and invasive. All this blood could fill the sea and more. I can tell you all the way my tides have turned. I wake with a knife in my hand. All this blood could fill the sea and more. You stopped calling my name. I found my way home. Thank you.
Yeah.
Conversations with my 7-year-old the morning after the election. Less than 3 months ago, I get an email. My no-fault divorce has been finalized. Now I think, lucky me. He has sent another message, mostly curse words and reminding me how controlling I am. Lucky me. My 7-year-old says, there should be a 2-month term limit for presidents who are dumb. Should I use a period tracker? Should I input the dates correctly? God forbid my own blood sell me out to Gilead. I can picture it now, but I would rather not describe it to you. God forbid. My 7-year-old asks if people really think black and brown people are from shithole countries. No, he doesn't say it like that. It's more like, do people really say black and brown people who aren't from America are from... Yes, I say. He tells me we have to find a way to teach them, find a way to tell the people who think he's good that he's not, as if we haven't tried. Lucky me. God forbid. And where is God anyway? Finding you the best parking spot? Blessing your sweet marriage? Showing up when you fold the laundry? Do the dishes? Submit to your husband? My 7-year-old tells me he will not obey laws that hurt people.
He is in the back seat observing the autumn leaves as we drive to school. From back there, you could almost believe it is all still normal, as if we haven't tried. Even the trees are dying. Imagine someone goes to a forest, rounds up the trees like wounded soldiers, and strips their bark until they weep. Imagine he says he is doing it to save the flowers. Imagine believing him. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ruth. You heard it here, folks. The only redeeming quality about me is my height. You know what's funny is that I'm wearing heels and I did this before you got up here. I'm done here. It's okay. I'm fine with it. It's fine. One more time for all of our readers on the website. This was so much fun. It's been a hell of a year, and I'm so grateful to end it with you all here in this room. Hang out, donate if you can, grab a book if you can, and submit your work by December 20th.